Say, how do you get discouraged? Well, there's a couple of different causes. Kind of help solidify whether we know or how we know whether it is we're doing these things. I don't know if anyone ever heard of Chuck Swindoll. Anybody ever heard of Chuck Swindoll? Charles Swindoll? Of course you have. He's on the radio. Anyway, he wrote a book on Nehemiah. I've been reading a lot of books when I've been studying this series. He wrote a book called Hand Me Another Brick, and he listed 4 causes of discouragement in verses 10 to 12. I think they're pretty good. I changed them up just a little bit, but I think they're so true. Let's read again verse 10, and I think you'll see them with me. In Judah, it was said, so there's the friendly fire, the strength of those who bear the burdens is failing. So the first cause of discouragement is a lack of strength. And if you read the rest of the text, what you know is that the timing of this lack of strength was when they were about halfway through building the wall. It was that halfway point. Everything was built to about 6 feet. They were halfway there. And I don't know if you've experienced this, but when you're about halfway there in the vision that God has given you, it's at that halfway point that it's especially easy to get discouraged, isn't it? Because you're far enough away from the starting line that the newness has worn off, but you're not so close to the finish line that you're inspired or encouraged. You're halfway there and you're tired and you've lost your strength. You're halfway there to saving enough for the down payment on your new home. You're halfway there to getting this ministry up off the ground. You're halfway there to paying off that student loan debt. You're halfway there to actually landing that new job. You're halfway there to the business launches. You're halfway there till you get to establish that relationship that needs to be in place in order to see the vision come to fruition. And it's at that halfway mark that many of us, myself included, we get discouraged. You have a loss of strength. Your strength is failing. You're emotionally, physically, mentally out of wares. So maybe that's your case. The other thing you see, verse 10, the strength of the burdens is failed. The strength of those who bear the burdens is failing. Notice what they said. They said there's too much rubble, which is interesting because there's less rubble at the halfway point than there was at the beginning, and yet now all of a sudden these workers are beginning to say, now there's too much. So why is it that there's too much now, but there wasn't too much beforehand? The difference wasn't in the amount of rubble. The difference was in the clarity of the vision. They had a loss of vision. All of a sudden, these workers forgot what it is that they were after. They forgot that picture of what could be and what should be. And when they began to lose that mental image of this is what we're after, this is why we're doing what we're doing, when that began to fade away from their mind's eye, all of a sudden, that's when they got discouraged. A loss of vision will bring discouragement to your heart every single time. When you forget the why, when you forget, these people forgot what it looked like to have a walled Jerusalem. All of a sudden, all that they saw, their minds were fixated on the rubble. And it can happen in your life too. It can happen while you're changing diapers. You knew I was going to use a diaper illustration, right? I read an article the other day of how many diapers a baby goes through in a day. Man, I'm only seeing about 1% of those diapers. So Audra's a very blessed woman, and I'm a very blessed man to have a woman who changes all those diapers because they happen when I'm up here. But it would be really easy if I put myself in the shoes of a mother of a newborn to lose the vision. And we got a lot of newborn mothers in this church. And diaper after diaper after diaper after diaper, all of a sudden you lose the end game. You lose the picture of what could be and what should be. All of a sudden, all you can see is the rubble. And it's overwhelming. But what's the end game? The end game is this child is someone that I'm going to help lead to Christ. This is a child who God has given me to steward and to train in the fear and the instruction of the Lord. This is someone who's eventually going to grow, and I'm going to help them assimilate into society so that they can be salt and light and work for the kingdom. It's really easy to forget that end game, to forget that vision of what could be and should be when all you're seeing is dirty diapers. And it's a silly example, but it's true in ministry. You can get lost in all you see is the trees, you can't see the forest. It's all the particulars, it's all the duties, it's all the responsibilities, and all of a sudden you've lost the vision. It's true parenting, not just little baby diapers, but a teenager. Whenever your teenager's lost her head, lost his head, it's really easy to forget, what's the end game? What was I after here? It's easy to forget while you're trying to pay down debt and you know, man, when am I going to get out to eat? When can I actually go to McDonald's? You know, all we're doing is sandwiches. Really easy to forget the end game. And when you lose your vision, you get discouraged.